In this video, I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on what I think the top of this market could look like moving forward. And I think that in terms of fractal patterns, not so much to do with the waves themselves in terms of AriasWave, but in terms of just how patterns evolve. I want to give you my 2 cents on how I think that this top might look like, just generally speaking, right? So we have to understand that first of all, in terms of AriasWave, so I will start with some AriasWave things just to begin the conversation. So we understand that there's this full correction that happened around here, right? And we understand that this is a full correction around this area as well. So that means that we're seeing the top of a head and shoulders pattern. That's my opinion, right? So if you look at, for example, this top end here, this could be technically classified as a head and shoulders pattern, right? A small one at the top, because not only do you have obviously the head. Sorry, once I do it the right way, not only do you have the head, you have a shoulder, and you have a smaller shoulder, and then you have obviously the neckline, which is around here. Now, this is like coming back to retest the neckline type of thing. It depends where you draw the neckline, right? But it's not just that. It's also what about the next level, right? Because it's a fractal pattern. So if you're looking at a larger degree head and shoulders, then you have to take into consideration a larger left shoulder and the larger head, right? So then we'd be looking for basically the next shoulder. So would this come in the form of where we are now? Or would this come in the form of what's coming next? I would be more inclined to believe that this is what it looks like. And you'll notice some similarities in the first head and shoulders, right? You'll notice that the right shoulder was not very close to the neckline, which would be the similar case right here. So in a way, we're kind of using that trend line, right? The rising trend line as some kind of a guide. Now, this may or may not be true at this point. And if it's not true, that means that we'd see a zigzag pattern to start off with, which would look, technically, it'd be a zigzag pattern in terms of what it looks like, how it appears, right? So just say, for example, we took the length of the first move, right? I'll just get rid of this. And let's just say that we extrapolate it out a little bit, right? We'd get the zigzag type pattern, and then we'd potentially see a move that would be very similar, or maybe even smaller than the move that we saw since the end of last year, right? A bounce. So if that was the case, then we'd see another zigzag pattern like such. Now, don't get me wrong, this could be a lot quicker than how I'm showing it, right? It could be a lot steeper. If we're in wave 3, then it'd be a lot steeper, right? But just for argument's sake, I'm just showing you this. So we'd get that bounce that would then most likely resemble the right shoulder. And if that happened, then that would be the right shoulder, and then we'd basically obviously see a full correction, not just a zigzag. But this is just for illustration purposes. We'd see the breakdown, right? And when you get a proper head and shoulders pattern, you get a breakdown that continues, not one that comes back, okay? Now, obviously, this would be at a point where there's probably a lot of other things going on in the market that would, explain what's going on at that time. But I do believe that during this time, there will be the topping of the Dow Jones. It makes a lot of sense, okay? Because in the Dow Jones, we are in a zigzag pattern that hasn't completed yet. We still have to see a new all-time high. So during that process, I think that this could potentially happen. So within that zigzag, we're in a wave C very soon. And when that wave C happens, we'll get this move down. And then we'll get a D, E, and then the final move up in the zigzag. Whereas here, we'd just see the rest of the 1-2, 1-2 correction complete before we get the wave 3 down, which is the main move coming, right? And that would be the top in the Dow Jones. So I still think that we do have quite a bit of time left for this, a year and a half. But I just thought I'd share with you what this could potentially look like in terms of Bitcoin. Okay. Now, to understand this completely, obviously, you'll need to know what I just said. Even playing it back may not make sense. Learning the waves is obviously the best way to do it. But yeah, if you want to know more, let me know, and thanks for watching.